T-minus 1 day and counting for the rally departure from Aruba to Colombia. Very exciting, and while some of the ralliers will start their morning with a little early morning yoga, some of the others send off for a last dive before we're at sea for a couple of days. We had a full schedule of boat projects today to get ready for departure, so we're gonna hang back, but we're gonna join up with them again later tonight on the beach for a jam session. Should be cool. Anyway, back at it here. We have been doing projects for the last couple of days, and yesterday we finished our major project, which was right here underneath in the bilge. So we had a bilge pump down, the primary pump was down, so we had water in the bilge all the time. So we got that resolved finally, had to replace the pump, had to fix the switch, get everything rerun. We had to check some lines. We thought we might have had a plug in the line back there, but that turned out to be a non-event, so we got that sorted. And we had one leak in the back of the transom, and that was from one of the cockpit drains. And the cockpit drain, the hose had actually separated from the fitting and just allowed water to come back into the boat when we were motoring at full speed, because the transom level drops a little bit, and when a wave would come up from behind, of course, it would flood that little hole with salt water and it would come straight down into the bilge. So that wasn't very good either, so we had to fix that. And Alcino got that all worked out yesterday, so that's back in action and good to go. Today, our main projects are going to be installing our Iridium GO system. So we got this thing here to put in, and that's going to be our satellite communications for while we're at sea, because we're going to be on our way to Colombia for at least 2 days. So we're going to get this up and running, at least so we can send and receive text messages, get updated weather forecasts, things like that. Biggest part of that project is going to be this wire. We have to run this wire all the way from the arch, so way back at the radar arch back there where the existing GPS antenna is. We're going to take that antenna off because that's no longer in use. That's just from an old GPS system that's in my nav station here, so we're going to take that out and put the new system. So the new controller is just going to be mounted either on the bulkhead. Let's see, we got a couple of different mounting options. We can just panel mount it if we just want to flush mount it against the bulkhead. Or we've got an articulating arm, so we can hook this up if I want to mount it on a flexible mount, so we can change the angle or whatever we want. And it also comes with a carry case, which is nice because it's fully detachable, so you can take it with you if you have to get in a life raft or any emergency situations or anything like that. You can take the Iridium GO with you. Comes with a spare battery that we ordered for it as well, so you've got extra time, you know, if you need to use it for emergency communications at sea and your electrical system is down in the boat, so that's nice as well. Alcino's got another project on the go here because we had one other pump below the floor that stopped working. We had the shower sump from the aft cabin washroom had stopped functioning, so of course that was creating a problem as well, in that all the water from the shower was just leaking through the pump housing, going straight down into the bilge and into the primary bilge area, and of course that was keeping the bilge pump working so often, so that's probably part of the cause of how it burned out. So we're just putting in a new pump over there as well. We had to pick up another pump for there yesterday. He's checking the switch, checking all the wiring, putting it back together, and then we'll be good there, and we'll get on with the Iridium GO project and then see what time of day it is after that and how much more time, because we are scheduling to leave tomorrow, probably early in the afternoon. So we're going to get up in the morning, do checkout procedures with customs, and then I think we'll have provisioning already done. We're going to do that today, so we'll pick up our last groceries. We're going to put in, top up the water tanks, pick up some spare fuel. Everything will be topped up as we leave here, and we'll set sail sometime early afternoon. Based on current weather forecast, everything looks good. It's going to be 20 knots or less with waves about 1.3, 1.4 meters, so typically less than 5 feet. That should be a nice way to start the trip. And there'll be some instances of heavier winds, heavier swells, heavier seas as we go around the point as we come around to Colombia, and then it should go fairly calm as we get there. Where's the rum? You want rum? Tiki's new saying, where's the rum? We were cleaning out the bilges yesterday, and of course they're full of old rum bottles because I haven't had rum in a long time, so there's still lots of rum down there we had to clean out as well. But that's the situation for today. So we'll get back to our projects, and if all goes as planned, we will be departing Aruba by mid-afternoon tomorrow. The trip should take about somewhere around 38 to 43 hours, just depending on actual wind conditions and sea state, of course. And that should put us into Santa Marta Marina and Colombia by, I'd say, early to midday on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed the weather window holds. That's all we're looking for. Really? You got a cold? Kiki got a cold? You sneezing over there? Hey, pretty girl. All right. Good girl. Tiki's morning too. All right, back to work.
There we go. Oh, I see another problem there.
Oh, got one drip there.
More than one.
That's the outlet line, right? Yeah. So maybe some Teflon tape or something in there.
No, it's, well, I don't know if it's coming from the hose or on the black part.
From the fitting.
Yeah.
The pump already shut off?
Yep.
But there's still a lot of water in it?
Well, it's still filling up.
Hmm.
Really slow.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever be fast for as long as it keeps working. Okay, so we're working. Okay, so that's good news at least. We got that up and running again. Just got one leak to fix. Whoops, sorry Tiki, come on up. Up you go. Say hello. Good morning. Good morning. There you go. Close up the bilge. Oh. And now we can get on to our Iridium project. Okay, so we got everything out of the box. The first thing we're going to do is set up the Iridium GO transceiver itself. So we'll get it all hooked up in the battery and everything and get it charging while we set up the cable and get everything else mounted and ready. So that way when everything's hooked up we can have this charged and ready to go. So you see that just has one moving part, which is this little antenna right here, and that actually is what will switch the device on. So by activating or turning that up, we'll actually turn the device on when it's charged and has a battery in it. We're going to leave that down for now. If you look at the back of the unit, you see there is an access port with 2 screws on it. So we're just going to open up those 2 screws, because that is where the battery compartment is and where we need to insert the SIM card, because this runs on a SIM card just like a telephone does. That's where it's going to register the phone number and the access that we're going to have when we're at sea. Okay, so the cover is now off. You can see that opens up the inside of the device. So inside the device, you'll see that it has the same sliding track for a SIM card like some other devices that you may be familiar with, but we're going to snap that over this direction. Okay, and then it will flip open like that. We get the cards. They send us a package with SIM cards. We ordered a couple extras because you might want to have extras just in case something happens to the other one. You can immediately get it set up even when you're at sea. And they come just like you would expect on a normal SIM card. Plate, and we'll get the SIM card here. And we're going to install it with the copper plate facing up and the arrow facing up the angled side of the card as well. Get this in there. Okay, just like so. And then we just flip it over and snap it in place. And that's it. SIM card installed. So now we need the battery. I've already unpacked the battery. This is the lithium-ion battery that goes inside. Just going to line up the 4 connectors to the charge connectors right there and place that in. Like so. And then put our back panel back on. And the panel is designed so that one flange is bigger than the other, so it will only go on in one direction. So just lay it in there and retighten the 2 screws. Like so. And you notice it has several access ports on the sides here. So we open up these access ports, and these are actually waterproof sealed as well, so make sure that they are always sealed properly or you won't have a watertight seal. But inside here we've got our USB port on one side and an SOS button on the other. And the SOS is a dedicated feature for emergency response, so the first thing they tell you when we unbox this, there's a big sticker on it that says, warning, you need to register your SOS data information first, because otherwise that feature will not function. So that's the first thing we're going to have to do once we get everything set up and running, is we'll go onto the website, register our information, who we want for contact information if we get into trouble or anything like that. And that way, if we do have to hop in the life raft, you can immediately just open this cover and press that button, and it will go into emergency alert mode, and it will tell people by sending your pre-programmed message what the issue is, and it will send your location so they know where to find you. Very valuable feature. So for now, we're going to close those back up. But with the battery installed, it's ready to plug into charge now. So we're going to open up again that micro USB cover right there. And I've already got this plugged into our socket over here for charging. And we are just going to plug this in like so. And immediately you can see we get the power light, the display turns on, so we know it's made connection. And Iridium pops up. So now it's going to charge. We're just going to let it sit here while we go do the rest of the system and start looking to where we're going to put in the antenna and the wire. So that's next. So you see we've had to do a little customizing on the mount, because the old GPS antenna, of course, had a much smaller mount and a much smaller wire. So we can use the mast just as a support, but the Iridium system, the built-in system, also came with a new stainless mount, so we're just going to use that and mount it actually to the mast. So that should do the job, because you can look at this and realize, yeah, this is very rigid cable, much heavier duty. And it wasn't going to go down through the middle of the mast and still allow for the corner at the bottom, so we just decided to go with the existing mount on top of the mast and just run the wire down the side of it and wire tie it, and that'll do the job. Alright, so we got our mount on. Now we just need to thread this up through the tube, like so. They also give us a parts kit which has a waterproof O-ring in here, so that's an important part. We don't want to have any moisture getting inside there. So that needs to be seated in here. Like so. Attach the antenna. And pull back down. And we line up with one of the screws. Okay, just put that lightly in position for now. We'll get the other ones in. Okay, now just go around and retighten them. But don't over tighten. Don't want to create flat spots on the gasket, just want it to cinch down nice and evenly all the way around. Just like that. Make sure that's tight. And there we go. Okay, so we'll put one wire tie down here and then put it through up on the rail, just like so. Well, as you can see, things always get worse before they get better. My poor nav station's taking a beating today. But we had a couple other projects we're waiting as well, because I wanted to change over one of the old parts in here. It used to have one of these old cigarette lighters for the accessory plug. I don't use shit that uses a cigarette lighter plug anymore, except of course for these adapters. So that just means you've got another failure point in there just to have your USB adapter. So I bought some of these things from Amazon a while ago, and they do the trick really nicely. I've already put one on the boat, and this is them there. This is a replacement for the cigarette lighter adapter, but it gives you dual USB plugs. So a 2.1 and a 1 amp at 5 volts. And we just finished installing that right here where the old cigarette lighter was. So that's there now. And now we're just in the process also of putting this gauge in, which is a big part of our upgrade to the bilge system. So this is what was there. It's just one of those standard bilge alarms, and this thing, oh my god, it drives you crazy as soon as it goes off, and you can't shut it off so until you solve the problem and the bilge is actually off again. So I decided to replace it with something that's preemptive instead of that, you know, notifies you when there's already a problem. Notify me before there's a problem. So this is a bilge counter, and it will tell me the number of times that the bilge pump's cycling on and off before actually it becomes a problem down there, before it burns the pump out, because normally the pump just keeps doing its own thing and it just eventually wears out and you don't even know it's doing anything because it just keeps pumping out these little bits of water that manage their way into the bilge. This is designed to notify you, so every day you sit down here you can say, okay, well normally we get it counts 2. If all of a sudden it starts counting 10, you're like, oh crap, we got something wrong. So you know enough to go down and check. So that's what we're putting in here now. Just going to wire that up, and then we got to wire in the antenna. So we've got the antenna run through here now, and you can imagine what a chore this was. So this is the antenna now hooked up for the Iridium. Just testing it here and everything is good, but we're going to take this off. It now has to be drilled through. We had this nice little patch right here that's the perfect spot just to put the new Iridium. So we're going to mount it right there. It'll go nicely right there, and it's on its pop-off bracket, so if we need to take it into the dinghy for emergency or the life raft or anything like that, it's on this removable bracket. So you just pop it up, it slides right out, close it up, and take it with you. And you got an emergency beacon device, so that's a very cool feature, very cool. So thanks to Iridium for that. I mean, that's a really nice feature to have on a boat, and it's affordable. I mean, they're not really that expensive. I mean, this whole device, you're looking at, I think when you buy it with the install kit, with everything, the wire, the everything you need, the brackets, everything, it's about just over $1,000 US. I added in a couple of extra accessories, the extra battery, storage case for it, all that kind of thing as well. So looking forward to testing that out and working with it, but now we got to put this junk back together and hopefully have a usable nav station again tonight. So back at it. Tiki's our supervisor. Can't do anything without her coming to watch. Hey Tiki, are we doing a good job? Bilges are getting clean again. Nice. There's the rum. Well, this is a day I'll be happy to leave to rest. It's been a big one, but we got it done. As you can see, the Iridium is mounted. So it's on the hard mount, and it just slides off like this. So you can see we've already run the cabling and everything from behind the mount. It's all hooked up nice. That's the antenna wire right here. There's our USB cable. So the USB just plugs right in the side here. Let's see. Like so. You pop it back in its mount and flip up the antenna. So that turns it all on. Then it takes a few minutes to go through its activation cycle, at which point you'll see it come up with the GPS lock and how many satellites it's locked onto, how good the signal strength is with the antenna and everything like that. So that's all working. We've already tested it. So we'll come back to you in a future episode now, and we'll go over how to connect it to the app, how that all works, and how to link it up to the PredictWind website so you can download weather while you're at sea, send text messages that you need back and forth to anybody you want to, you know, send a message to, how the SOS works, all of that. So that'll be next time. For now, we're going to the beach. Time to chill and getting ready for departure. Almost ready to go to Colombia. Last night in Aruba, and we're getting ready to head to Colombia tomorrow. And you can tell there's a dinghy party in town. So we're gonna go check out. They're having a jam fest with some of the cruisers. Bring their own instruments, do whatever they want, just hang out, play, have a few beers, and we're gonna go see what it looks like.
Going to the ladies' room, relax, have a
You're heading out tomorrow.
When the night is cloud, there is still the light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow. And I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Ah, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. Ah, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be. Show me the road that leads home. Oh, won't you show me? Won't you show me? Show me the road that leads home. Wherever you may roam, over land or sea or foam, you can always hear me singing this song. Show me the way to go home. Oh, show me. Show me. Show me the road that leads home. Won't you show me? Won't you show me the road that leads home? And wherever you may